And here's the video review for FansProject Steel Core. Now, I got to meet some of the FansProject Core guys at TFCon, and they did have a handful of these to sell from the canceled orders for Steel Core on their website. So I managed to snag one after playing with Vangelis, and I kind of had to get one because it was really, really cool. So I did manage to get him. Here he is in vehicle mode. You saw he comes packaged in the same type of packaging as Warbot Defender. And he goes really well with him. And he kind of has Ultra Magnus-y colors. He's not intended to be an homage to any particular figure. But you certainly could pretend he was a Magnus in your collection if you wanted to. There's some stuff coming up for him that's pretty exciting that they showed off that I can't show you. Maybe I can tell you about it. But I'll let them, because there's some neat stuff coming down the pipeline for this guy, and through just the FansProject Core line and other FansProjects items are coming, and they're really, really neat. They did show off that the first two members of their combiner based on Menasor. It looks awesome. Again, I saw more of that behind the scenes. That's really, really neat, but we'll see. That's going to be revealed soon, so keep your eyes out. As well as the deluxe Insecticons. Again, expect some news on that probably soonish, about where to get them, how to get them, where they're going to be available, and some of the neat stuff with that. Anyway, on to Steel Core himself. Here he is in his vehicle mode, and it looks like he's kind of incomplete back here, and there's a reason for that, which, again, you'll see shortly. But you can see there's like a little trailer hitch. You can attach the G3 trailer to him, which is pretty cool. But yeah, here he is in vehicle mode, and you can actually open up this cockpit here, and inside, if I can get it snaps shut fairly securely. You pop this open, and there is Steel, the little robot that comes inside. And in the comic, there's a red one and an orange one, and they did have a red one and orange one on display at the booth. So who knows if those are coming out? They said they plan on releasing some more cores later on. So core or steels, little guys to plug into him later on. But he's a little guy. He's got ball jointed arms, his hinged elbows. He's got a ball jointed head here, ball jointed hips, and then hinged knees. So he's got some neat little features to him. Looks like a little target master, headmaster, power master type partner. So that's Steel. And here's Core, the vehicle. Now, he does have, as part of his full mode weapons, he does have this little blade for his melee weapon. And it doesn't really, people have found different ways of kind of sliding it in here or attaching it in vehicle mode that don't really work. I found, and I don't know if it's intentional. It doesn't seem to be intentional because it's not the best. It doesn't like plug in super tight. But there's a little, you can kind of see right there, there's like a little squared off notch between the corner, there you go, and the peg. And if you put that squared off notch right here on this corner, or I mean you can do it from either side, but right here in the corner like that, and then just kind of push the blade up in there. Let's see if we can get this to work here. Nope. There's a way to do it. I've done it. Yes, that's not working. Huh. Maybe on this side. And of course, now that I go to show it off, it's not working. Let's make sure everything's plugged in tightly here. Oh, there we go. There's that up there is not plugged in. There we go. But if you have everything in, this should sit right here, and just the friction of it. Yeah, there we go. Right over the edge of the corner, and then you just kind of push the blade up against his chest piece here, and you can see it stores just fine. Doesn't fall out. So you just want to make sure he's properly transformed, and if everything's tightly pegged together, you can store it right there. It stays on while he rolls. Again, I wouldn't like slam him down. If you slam him down on the desk, it pops right out. But as long, I mean, it's not something you don't want to store it like this and throw it in your backpack. But you can store the blade right there under vehicle mode. Again, that fell out because I shook it, but it's not the sturdiest of connections, but it is a place, if you're that obsessed with it, to store it. On to robot mode. One of the things when you're turning him back into vehicle mode, here's the trickiest part, is you want to make sure that the opening for these ball joints is facing toward the front of the vehicle. That's what lets these bend just a little bit, angle a little bit forward to get let this whole front section compress together properly, so these pieces snap together. So that's the proper positioning for these ball joints here, and these little swivel joints here on his upper thighs for robot mode. Now, on to the transformation. The first thing we're going to do here is pop his legs off, just like that. Just grab it here and kind of pop them out, swing them out to the side. And again, right there. And he does have a little transformational... Actually, it's not even transformational. You don't need this for transformation, so well, we'll get to that in robot mode. But you bring the legs down, just like this, with these fins, or these vents facing the cockpit here. And then rotate his legs away from you. Oh wait, no. It's his feet. Turn them around, fold these vents in, and then rotate his feet this way. And there you have the legs. And you want to take this crotch piece, and it's resistant at first. You want to be careful with it. I mean, it's not gonna break unless you're really crazy, but you have to use a little bit of force with it, and just want to snap it up, just like that until it pegs together up here. Right there, just like that. And you bring this up. The cockpit can remain locked into place, and that will hold his upper body together. And here's one of the cool bits up here on the top. You can see his arms are kind of folded up over his head. And that's his weapon in between there. So, you want to split his arms like that, leave this in his hand, bring this arm down. You want to unpeg this from up here, bring this arm down, flip his fist down, and then close this little panel that covered his head. And then over here, same thing, flip up this piece. It was the piece on the back of the vehicle mode. Flip these up on the back here. And then you want to bring this down like this, fold this in, bring the arm down, and then this weapon right here, rotate the whole fist down like that, so he's holding his weapon underneath like that. Now if you take this, flip this up, and then take this panel right here and flip this up so it wraps around his hand, there is his first weapon mode, and his gun. And he's got a rifle. And that's kind of cool. Like, you can totally transform him into both robot and vehicle mode without removing his gun from his hand. Now, one of the other things that's neat about it is the blade I was showing you earlier. If you take this piece and just flip it up onto his arm like that, you take the blade and you plug it in right here, and now he's got like the nail gun of doom with a blade on it, melee weapon. And that's really cool. I really like the way that works. And two, if you want him to have the rifle, much like in vehicle mode, and this one is much more secure, there's a gap here and even a little squared out piece up here, and his back into the cockpit. You can actually take this and just slide it and drop it right down into there. Actually, I think this way, and it'll stay right in there until you need it. You do want to pop it out and slide it out this way. You don't want to try to open the cockpit to get it out, because that'll get everything all jammed up. But you can just pop it right in there like that like that. It'll stay in place, and then when you're ready, you can just pop it out. So yeah, there's the storage for that. Now, Steel here in robot mode, straighten his arms out, turn his head around. You want to make sure to turn his head around before you flip it down, and then flip his head down. And then this whole side of his body, you can see the whole torso piece folds in together. The arms tab together right here. And then the legs flip up. There's little tabs on each side that plug in here. And you kind of want to rotate this so that this is sticking straight out the back. And again, fold this up and tab this piece on. And then this piece, much like a Power Master, plugs right into the chest of Steel there, or core, to form Steel Core. And the blue, like when I first saw pictures of this, the blue seemed a very drastic shade from the other blue, and it is a different shade of blue than the rest of him, but it's not nearly as off-putting in robot mode, so it's really, really cool. And then just as a quick comparison, here he is with Defender here. Defender doesn't like to stand. There we go. And so you can see that aesthetically they fit together really well. Now there's no die cast that I found in him aside from like pins, There's no metal in him. He's all plastic, but he feels nice. He's very cool. He's a very sturdy figure. Doesn't have the weight issues that Defender does with falling over. I did get to play with Assaulter, the broadside homage coming out, the Warbot 3, who does have diecast in him, and he's much more well balanced. He's got a lot of heft to him. He's really tall. He's about, compared to these guys, he's about yay tall, which is really cool and just massive. So I'm looking forward to that next release in the line. So yeah, there's Steel Core. And one little bonus thing here. I transformed him like this, just goofing around in the bar. Somebody said his cockpit kind of looked like an ED-209. And while I couldn't accomplish anything like that, I found that if you take him, you just kind of turn his head down and point it down like this. Pop Steel out. And go ahead and turn Steel back into his robot mode so he can be ready to go. Clip his arms up. Clip his head up. There we go, just like that. We'll go ahead and get him in a sitting position. So you take this, you rotate his arms around like this, and down. And then you take the crotch piece before, you fold it all the way down. This might come to this, but you fold it all the way down into its vehicle mode position. And then from here, flip the legs forward and then all the way back. Again, use the knee joint here. Flip, so basically, like you're bending his knee, and then flip them all the way back till it's straight, and then angle these so that these angle forward. Rotate the foot around. Oh, you flip out his heel pieces too. I forgot about these heel pieces, but flip those out. Flip his legs around, and then bring his arms down and around like this. And while his hands are backwards, and especially this is where I really like the melee weapon. You can give him a gun over here. You can have him have the gun if that's how you prefer your mech. I love in this mode flipping this up and making the melee blade weapon in this piloted mech. And again, you can open up the cockpit here and put Steel right inside. And now you've got a really cool looking... You do have his head sticking out back here, which if you point it down is not a huge issue. But now you've got this little cool little posable piloted mech that you can mess around with. It's just an alternate transformation. But I showed this to the FansProject guys and some of the other third-party guys at the bar on, I guess it was Saturday night. And all of them started whipping out their phones to get a picture of it, which was just a really, really cool feeling. And also, if you want, you can he can hold, if you want to give him a gun over here, he can hold Defender's guns. It might even be possible, depending on how you do this, you might actually be able to hold both of them. Might be able to plug both of them. Okay, no, you can't quite get this one in far enough. You can't get both of them in far enough for him to really hold them. But you can give him a gun and a melee weapon and have him go nuts. But yeah, Chicken Mech. So that's just a little bonus third mode you can get with FansProject Steel Core. But there he is, FansProject Steel Core. And if you get a chance to get, they're sold out of the 800 that FansProject Core had, but there's more coming. So keep your eye out. There will be more Steel Cores available, and he's definitely worth picking up. But there he is, FansProject Steel Core.